They were called the Korea Dominion, and for 3,000 standard cycles, no one in the Perseus Reach had ever refused them. Not once. The Dominion's fleets moved like a ritual, predictable, unstoppable, and absolute. First came the envoys, their voices dripping with ancient authority, then the ultimatum, then the demonstration, a moon cracked, a city glassed, a civilization erased just enough to prove the point. And then came surrender. That was how it had always gone. So when the long-range sentinels detected a lone human vessel drifting at the edge of the virile expanse, the Korea admirals barely noticed. One ship. Not a formation, not a battle group, just one vessel, its hull dark, its emissions deliberately muted. It did not maneuver aggressively, it did not broadcast a challenge, it did not even power its weapons. To the Dominion, it looked like fear. Admiral Threxall, Supreme Claw of the 7th Conquest Fleet, studied the projection lazily, his 4 eyes narrowed in mild amusement. A single human ship, he rasped. So this is the species that troubles the Council so deeply? The bridge crew clicked and hissed in agreement. Humans were newcomers, barely a few centuries into faster-than-light travel. They lacked the grandeur of the Korea, the ancient war doctrines, the bioengineered fleets grown in stellar nurseries. Humanity's territory was small, their influence overstated by diplomats who feared unpredictability more than strength. And unpredictability, Threxall believed, was a weakness. Transmit the ultimatum, he ordered. Standard wording. The signal was sent across the void, encoded in every major galactic language. Identify yourself, power down your engines, lower your shields, prepare to be boarded. Resistance will result in extermination. The human ship did not respond. Minutes passed. Then 10. Threxall's mandibles twitched in irritation. Increase signal strength, they are attempting delay. Before the order could be executed, the human ship finally transmitted. There was no dramatic flourish, no threats, no attempt at diplomacy. Just a single, calm voice. Human vessel Aegis of Dawn to Korea Fleet. The translator rendered, "We acknowledge receipt of your message." Threxall leaned forward. At last, do they surrender? The voice continued. You have entered a protected human corridor. Turn back immediately. The bridge fell silent. Then laughter erupted, sharp, clicking, echoing laughter from a species that had forgotten the concept of refusal. A corridor? Threxall sneered. They believe a line on a map will stop us? He keyed the calm himself. Human vessel, you face the 7th Conquest Fleet of the Korea Dominion. Power down now, and your species may yet survive as vassals. The reply came instantly. No. Just that. No qualifiers. No hesitation. Threxall's laughter ceased. You dare? You are trespassing, the human voice said evenly. Final warning. The admiral straightened, rage simmering beneath his carapace. Fire a warning volley. Strip their shields. Teach them humility. Plasma lances flared across the darkness. Brilliant arcs of contained stellar fire. They struck the human ship dead center. And did nothing. The Aegis of Dawn did not even drift. Energy readings spiked, then vanished as if the attack had been swallowed. Bridge officers hissed in confusion. Shields? Threxall demanded. Unknown. Supreme Claw. An officer replied, panic creeping into its tone. The energy, it dispersed. We cannot analyze the mechanism. Threxall felt the first flicker of unease. Full barrage, he snapped. Erase it. The fleet obeyed. Hundreds of warships unleashed everything they had: plasma, gravitic shear weapons, kinetic kill masses accelerated to relativistic speeds. Space itself seemed to scream as the Dominion's might converged on the lone human vessel. When the light faded, the Aegis of Dawn was still there. Unharmed. Not even scorched. And then it moved. Not forward, not backward. It simply appeared closer. No acceleration curve, no transition wake. One moment it was distant, the next it hung just beyond weapons range of the flagship. The Korea sensors went blind. Impossible, someone whispered. The human ship transmitted again. You were warned. The Aegis of Dawn fired. There was no beam, no projectile. Space folded. A Dominion cruiser vanished, not exploded, not torn apart, but removed, as if reality itself had decided it no longer belonged. Another followed. Then 3 more. Panic surged through the fleet. Return fire, all ships, Threxel roared. But coordination was collapsing. Human countermeasures flooded Dominion systems with false readings, phantom fleets, recursive sensor loops that fed on themselves until screens went dark. And the human ship was no longer alone. Space rippled. 1 became 5. 5 became 50. Human vessels emerged from nothingness, surrounding the Dominion fleet in perfect, terrifying silence. No war cries, no posturing. Just precision. A Kree dreadnought attempted to flee. A human ship adjusted position by a fraction, and the dreadnought ceased to exist. Another fired its planet cracker weapon. The shot bent and detonated harmlessly in empty space. Threxel realized the truth too late. This was not a patrol. This was an execution. Open all channels, he commanded desperately. We surrender. We acknowledge human supremacy. The human response came not from the Aegis of Dawn, but from everywhere at once. Request denied. The extermination was methodical. Human weapons did not cause suffering, they erased. Ships vanished, fleets unraveled. The proud 7th Conquest Fleet was reduced to debris and silence in less than 7 minutes. Threxel watched the end from the shattered bridge of his flagship, systems failing, atmosphere bleeding away. The human ship loomed before him, vast and indifferent. One final transmission cut through the chaos. This corridor was marked, the human voice said. You ignored it. The flagship disappeared. Across the galaxy, sensors flared as the destruction echoed through subspace. Entire civilizations watched as the Kree Dominion's most powerful fleet winked out of existence. No survivors. No debris field large enough to study. Just absence. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session within hours. What provoked this? Demanded the Valorian High Speaker. The Kree do not lose fleets. A trembling analyst answered. They encountered a human vessel, issued an ultimatum, and they believed the humans would yield. Silence fell over the chamber. A human representative finally spoke, voice calm, almost weary. We told them not to enter our corridors. You destroyed an entire fleet over a single violation? A delegate asked, horrified. No, the human replied. We destroyed it because they thought we would surrender. The council members shifted uneasily. Is this your standard response? The human met their gazes. No, they said. This was restraint. From that day forward, galactic maps changed. Human borders were no longer suggestions. They were warnings marked in stark symbols no one dared cross. And among the stars, a new saying spread, whispered by traders, soldiers, and diplomats alike. If a human ship stands alone, it is not because it is weak. It is because it does not need help. They thought the human ship would yield. Instead, humanity wiped them out. And the galaxy finally understood why.